Welcome to Africa Insight. In this week's video, I'm joined by my colleague Leeuwner Esterhuysen, who's the economist for Senegal. So Leeuwner, there's been a lot of stuff happening in Senegal around the IMF, and they were visiting. Could you tell our viewers a little bit more about that and why are the IMF in Senegal?
Surely. So firstly, thanks for having me. Just for context, this whole saga dates back to the end of 2024, when the new administration led by President Faye and then Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko discovered hidden debt that initial estimates found the hidden debt total at about 7 billion, but subsequent estimates has seen this figure revised upwards to somewhere in the range between 11 and 13 billion. So since then, at the time, Senegal had a IMF program that was ongoing, and of course that program was halted. Since then, it's been a back and forth and ongoing discussions between Senegal and the IMF to firstly determine how this debt was hidden in the first place, and then also to pave the way towards a new program. So, I mean, that's almost 2 years ago, and the discussions are still ongoing. We've seen some interesting developments in recent times. So firstly, Senegal rebased the GDP at the end of last year to improve the ratios, so the debt to GDP ratios and stuff like that, which obviously has a optic impact.
Yeah, looks good for them.
Yes, but it doesn't address the underlying debt issues. And more recently, we've seen a shake-up in the government as well, where President Faye decided to sack Prime Minister Sonko and replace him with a previous central banker, Amadou Law. So this all signals that although there hasn't been much progress in terms of a new program, there's incremental changes that signals that we are approaching a new IMF.
Okay, so it seems like we're getting there. But then I just maybe want you to unpack, maybe for some of our viewers who are not so familiar with Senegalese economics, the debt. I'm also quite interested. What did they spend the money on? Because it sounds, you said 13 billion. That sounds like ridiculous. Like, do you have any idea on what the money was spent on, or just if you could just comment generally on how they got there?
That was just basically undisclosed debt. There's contingent liabilities with regards to SOEs that weren't initially included in the debt figure. So overall, that's basically what it comes down to, accounting metrics that didn't make sense looking back. So I think these are a lot of the issues that the IMF are trying to iron out and want Senegal to address, how they obviously track these things and how they keep their debt under control. A major sticking point has been how exactly Senegal intends to reduce their debt burden. So like I mentioned, the GDP rebasing, that was one method touted by the government. Another is effectively outgrowing their debt. Given the strong growth that stemmed from the new hydrocarbon sector, that hasn't really materialized as hoped. At the same time, revenue growth hasn't been strong enough to basically earn enough money to be able to repay their debt without a debt restructuring. So that's the same reason why we think that the president got a more market-friendly prime minister into place to try and to kind of make it easier to, if a debt restructuring happens, it's kind of easier to get through.
Okay, just one last, just a quick comment there. You're talking about all of this. With the IMF being there, is it still favorable for investors to look into Senegal, or would you feel like they're a bit more reticent around reputational risk, or like what's the general sort of your view, at least from your
I think if you're looking at yields, Senegal's bonds are definitely trading at distressed levels. So investors were initially still bullish on the economic potential of the country. But like I said, the materialization of the hydrocarbon sector has been significant, but it hasn't been as strong as initial predictions kind of stated it's going to be.
Right.
So based on that, and given the external headwinds that a lot of the countries or economies are facing, the sentiment around Senegal and their growth potential is definitely cooling.
All right, cool. No, thanks for explaining, and I think let's leave it at that.
Thank you for joining Africa Insight this week. If you'd like more information on our products or services, please visit our website or socials.